No idea.
Yes, we are waiting for Granada to be ready. So, yeah, basically the timer is like optimal. I mean, 10 minutes, it should be all right.
We will be kicking off in a couple of minutes. If you can please take your seats. Hello, hello. Okay, so we will be kicking off in a couple of minutes, so if we can please take your seats. Thank you.
Gary, after the timer is going off, you can go. Grenada is ready.
I don't start speaking. That's got
No, it's Gary. It's Goktu who will start.
yeah.
All right, so I have a go from Granada, I have a go from Strasbourg, and everybody else watching us online. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone who are joining us here in Granada, who are joining us in Strasbourg, or virtually all around the globe, welcome to the opening ceremony of the International Space University's Space Studies Program 2021. I am Göktuğ Karacaloğlu, the Program Director of SSP, and I will be serving as the Master of Ceremonies during today's program. Since ISU's inception, which was 34 years ago, our programs have contributed to more than 5,000 alumni in more than 110 countries in the diverse global network of space experts and enthusiasts. This year, it will be another historical milestone for ISU, where we will be conducting this program in 3 different locations, in Spain, in France, and all around the globe simultaneously. During the upcoming 9 weeks, there will be many interconnected activities across these 3 sites, and also there will be many activities specifically designed for each of the 3 curriculums. Today, we are very excited to launch this historical program and having you witnessing it with us. An undertaking of the scope of this program, the Space Studies program, would be impossible without the coordinated efforts of many generous organizations and dedicated individuals. I would like to thank the many organizations who are making SSP21 possible. First, thank you to our sponsors, Région Grand Est, the Eurometropolis of Strasbourg, and the municipality of Granada. I would also like to thank our partner, our host, the University of Granada. And finally, in no specific order, I would like to thank the Luxembourg Space Agency, MT Aerospace, Blue Origin, the European Space Agency, Lockheed Martin, iSpace China, the Italian Space Agency, ASI, Federal Aviation Administration, CNES, the French Space Agency, GMV, EUMETSAT, JAXA, UK Space Agency, the French Air Force, SSPF Foundation from the Netherlands, the Indian Space Agency, ISRO, the UK Ministry of Defence, and Arcus, the European University Alliance. So as our 39 participants here in Granada are getting very excited to march into this historical building, a simultaneous event is indeed happening at our central campus at the International Space University in Strasbourg. And the program director for Strasbourg, Mr. Gary Martin, is waiting for us. So let's hear each other. Strasbourg, this is Granada, Spain. Do you copy?
But we're having some sound problems here. Can you hear me?
Yes, Gary, we can hear you loud and clear from Granada.
I'm not sure if I should go. We test out the sound. Can they hear us?
Yeah.
Yes, Gary, we can hear you now.
But nobody else.
I hear you, and it's on their side. We're
I
trying.
called Juan, yeah, that he should tell him, but I'm not sure if we are heard.
Yeah, you and I are heard. We're ready to go, and he's already passed it off to me, but I don't want to talk if he can't hear me.
We can hear you here if you can hear us. The floor is yours.
If people can hear us.
Yeah, well, our room can hear you. So you sound great.
Yeah, but you do.
So somehow the sound has.
Pascal, I can hear you as well, so we can hear you both.
We're tracking it down. This happens with all new pushing the boundaries. We're pushing things out, learning how to do things, new skills.
This program is indeed very experimental. This is the first time we are operating completely in a simultaneous manner. So, you know, space is not easy. So telecommunications is part of space as well. So this
Talk to.
All right, Gary, we can hear you.
Already we know it's going to be an amazing session from the people we've already met, the new participants. And this is an exciting program. You know, the first time we're working together with different sites, with Granada and with online. And it's going to be the best session because we're going to learn how to do new things, and we'll be able to expand and evolve the SSP to have more capability in the future. And so I'm looking forward to all these lessons we're learning and demonstrating today. We're ready to go. And with that, I think we're ready for the participants. Back to you, Gaktu.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Gary. All right, so we will connect you back in a few moments in this opening ceremony. So let's continue here. So our host Here is in Granada is the UGR, the University of Granada. The University of Granada is an innovative and comprehensive research university founded more than 500 years ago. The UGR is currently ranked among the world's leading higher education institutions, classified by the Shanghai Academic Ranking of World Universities as the 326th best university in the world. The UGR vows to remain a university open to all, regardless of culture, creed, or personal beliefs, and is fully committed to pioneering research, innovation, and delivering world-class education. The second site, our host site in Strasbourg, is the International Space University. The beautiful campus facilities that host ISU are the result of a vision and generosity of local and national partners from those years and who are still with us today. This summer, all of us at UGR, at ISU, and online will become part of the great space community. We hope to share our enthusiasm and expertise with our hosts and guests. Ladies and gentlemen, here comes the moment. I would like to now introduce with great pride the class of SSP 2021. In true ISU tradition, the SSP participants will now enter bearing the flag of their countries. Please give them a round of applause.
Australia.
Austria.
Belgium.
Brazil. China. China.
France.
Germany.
Race.
India.
Ireland.
Malaysia.
Mexico. Nigeria.
Pakistan.
Poland.
Portugal.
Romania.
Russia.
Slovakia. Spain.
Sweden. The Netherlands.
Turkey.
United Kingdom.
Let's take the Queen.
Connection to Strasbourg. So, last but not least, the United States of America.
United States.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me welcoming the class of International Space University Space Studies Program 2021. So as you witness, this year we have participants representing 35 countries, covering a range of professions in all levels of experience, all come together for this very intensive and challenging, but also unforgettable 9-week program. Ladies and gentlemen, to begin, may I ask you to give a warm greeting to the President of International Space University, Juan de Dalmau.
Muchísimas gracias por el protocolo sanitario. Espero que se me oiga bien. excelentísima rectora magnífica de la Universidad de Granada, presidente de la Diputación de Granada, alcalde de Granada, dear Chancellor of the International Space University, Madame la Vice-Présidente de l'Eurométropole de Strasbourg, members of the International Space University Board of Trustees, partners, colleagues, and friends. We are very happy to welcome you all to this opening ceremony of the Space Studies Program 2021. And we want to thank everyone here, everyone online, everyone in Strasbourg for having taken the risk of coming here. You're coming from all over the world, as we have just seen. And we anticipate that in a few years' time, we will repeat this type of ceremony with participants also walking on board a space station or on the surface of the moon. And the telecommunication challenge will be there again. So I encourage everyone to keep trying and keep innovating for the next challenge of international space learning and teaching. You have come from all over, just like people would come from all over several centuries ago. People would come to Granada to study, to learn, and to teach about the arts, technology, about medicine, about astronomy. As we know, there is a long tradition here. And at the same time, centuries ago, people would go to Strasbourg to study, to learn, to teach about astronomy, about medicine, about the arts. And 500 years ago, people were struggling with pandemics in Granada and in Strasbourg and in many other places. It feels like this is the first pandemic. It is not. So back then, several hundred years ago, people had to build hospitals to treat pandemics. And I think we are extremely privileged to be today in the Royal Hospital. This has been a hospital for centuries, even if it looks like a church. One of the interesting aspects of this hospital is that when it was built, it was in the outskirts of Granada, in a place that some historians claim used to be a Muslim cemetery. So people reused an old location. They reused materials they found on site, something we would today call in situ resource utilization, to use a term of jargon. And people reuse what they found. And for those who are interested, obviously we can discover how people here took advantage of a mosque or a palace and built a church. It's worthwhile seeing these examples of in situ resource utilization. And people came to learn about astronomy. And what is interesting to see is that about 500 years ago, people were using an astronomical instrument for navigation and positioning in Granada and in Strasbourg, called the astrolabe or astrolabe, depending on how you want to pronounce it. This was used by a few people who knew how to use it to determine their position, the position of the stars and the planets, and to predict what was going to happen. And to build such a clock, it would need more than one expertise. It would need multidisciplinary knowledge from mathematicians, watchmakers, painters. So you would see in the making of an astrolab, you need science, you need technology, you need arts. So what we could say is that the International Space University was not invented 35 years ago, it was invented centuries ago when these experts would work together to produce astrolabes. So my message to the founders of the ISU, who I hope we can hear in a few minutes, Bob Richards and Peter Diamandis, with all my respect, is that perhaps they did not invent the International Space University, they just reinvented it. And with this, I would like to wish us all a wonderful summer of learning, wherever you may be, online or here or in Granada. Thank you to everybody, and I would like to invite our Master of Ceremonies, Director of the program, Göktuğ, who is doing a wonderful job of project management. I don't know if you ever sleep, but it looks like you're always awake, full of energy. Let's give Göktuğ and his team all over the place a very loud applause.
Thank you very much, Juan, for your kind words. And this is actually what I tell our staff, but sometimes also to the participants. We say this will be the most unforgettable 9 weeks of your life, probably. So, you know, you can sleep on your way back home. So this is really to enjoy fullest this wonderful cities and the online participation. With that, I would like to now introduce the Chancellor of International Space University, Professor Pascal Ehrenfreund. So Pascal is joining us. Pascal, this is Granada. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you, and I hope you can hear me.
Loud and clear in Granada. Over to you, Pascal.
Good. Dear ISU participants of the Space Studies Program 2021 of the International Space University, I also want to acknowledge Vice President Caroline Zorn and Rector Pilar Aranda, and also the ISU founders and everybody else who is online and speaking. As the Chancellor of the International Space University, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the 33rd edition of the Space Studies program that is hosting participants, as you have seen, from 3 sites with more than 350 people involved. So the International Space University develops the future leaders of the world space community by providing interdisciplinary educational programs, and the Space Studies program is one of them. It is really wonderful to see so many motivated individuals participating in the SSP 2021. This year, we welcome more than 110 participants from over 35 countries. So the booming industrial and public space sectors are showing really ambitious new space missions, unprecedented entrepreneurship, private investment, innovative technologies, and offer really great future opportunities for ISU students and also for space professionals. And when you are once a part of ISU, you really are able to engage with more than 500 space professionals. That's the ISU network of professionals, companies, space agencies, you name it. And you can network and boost your career. So I want to acknowledge the long-standing commitment from the key members of the local organizing committee, and I like to thank all the staff, faculty, alumni, program sponsors, and partners for their generous contribution of time, of course, resources, brain power, to this SSP 21 program. And I'm well aware, and Juan already said that, how difficult it is and was to set up this program during this challenging year of the global pandemic. And I really appreciate all the effort that went into preparing this program. So with those words, actually, I will leave you to your studies. I wish you a great learning experience during the Space Studies Program 21. You have heard 9 weeks, 9 fantastic weeks. And I hope that this program will guide all your future endeavors. Have fun.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Pascal, for your address to the participants. So, ladies and gentlemen, as Pascal also mentioned, this is indeed a very exclusive class of SSP this year, because normally an SSP hosts more than 100 participants. And this year, for this entire journey, they will be enjoying with a much exclusive class, a class of 40 participants here in Granada, another 40 in Strasbourg, and another 40 participants online. So possibly, so far, this is the most exclusive class of SSP indeed. With that, I would like to now invite to the floor the Regional Minister of Economic Transformation, Industry, Knowledge and Universities. So, who has left us a message of welcome. So let's listen to Mr. Rogelio Velasca.
Buenas tardes y bienvenidos a todos los que nos acompañan tanto presencialmente como de manera online. Gracias por invitarme a la inauguración del Programa de Estudios Espaciales que compartimos con Estrasburgo y que estoy convencido de que reportará valiosos beneficios para el conjunto de Andalucía y especialmente para esta universidad. Andalucía mira al espacio cuando apuesta por el futuro en la investigación, el talento, la industria, las comunicaciones, y tenía que ser en Granada, donde se desarrolle un curso como este. Pues aquí la Universidad y el Instituto de Astrofísica de Andalucía cuentan con 26 grupos de investigación consagrados al conocimiento del espacio. Este instituto es un activo extraordinario para nuestra tierra, porque hablamos de un centro de investigación de frontera, de prestigio internacional en el campo de la astrofísica y el desarrollo de instrumentación para telescopios y vehículos espaciales. Nos sentimos plenamente identificados con la ambición de estas jornadas espaciales, por su apuesta por fortalecer el talento, la oportunidad de aprendizaje multidisciplinar y construir relaciones que son tan importantes. El espacio requiere un conocimiento y una ambición de caleidoscopio, en la que múltiples disciplinas son necesarias: ciencias, ingeniería, satélites, vuelos tripulados, geopolítica, psicología, economía, gestión de proyectos, entre otros. Necesitamos a todos estos profesionales para hacer del espacio un ámbito en el que Europa sea también parte fundamental. Desde este gobierno de la Junta de Andalucía tenemos claro que se trata de uno de los sectores con mayor capacidad para promover en Andalucía la transición hacia un nuevo modelo productivo basado en la innovación y el conocimiento. Por eso, además de la Estrategia Aeroespacial de Andalucía, que aprobamos en el mes de marzo, estamos ultimando un paquete de ayudas por valor de 15 millones para insuflar al tejido aeroespacial ese oxígeno económico que precisa en estos momentos. Andalusia has a great future to explore and tremendous competitive advantage in the aerospace field. From a scientific point of view, the report Mapa del Sector Espacio en Andalucía 2020 that we publish every 2 years confirms an increase of 25% compared to 2018 in entities with activities related to the space sector. Specifically, the region contains 152 companies, technology centers, research groups, institutes, and entities dependent on the administration, which have experience related to space through R&D and I projects, patent development, and scientific publication. In the private sector, our companies and technology centers are responsible for many of the world's milestones having Andalusian roots. We also have an infrastructure such as Calar Alto, a world reference for its state-of-the-art telescopes and instrumentation, and for the quality of the sky at its location in the Sierra de los Filabres. Space constitutes an opportunity for the future for Andalusia due to its towing capacity, and it is one of the segments that has the highest value and technological load within the industrial and economic activity, and also usually works as a motivator for important innovations in other productive and strategic segments, such as communications, transportation, environment, security, defense, energy, and other fields. Furthermore, it should not be forgotten that the economic and social return on investment in space is very high. For every euro used, between 3 and 6 euros are generated. Very soon, the global space industry will resume its acceleration path. For this reason, Andalusia must know how to take advantage of its potential to grow with exports, technology, innovation, and above all, the knowledge that is developed in institutions such as the Universidad de Granada, which has to play, together with the rest of the Andalusian universities, a key role in the training of talent and the promotion of technology-based entrepreneurship in this field. I'm sure that forums like this one will contribute to give visibility at a global level, taking advantage from the relationship between professional and global experts, and bringing new ways of collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your address, Minister Velasco. Let me now welcome to the stage the President of the Diputación de Granada, Mr. José Entrena Avila.
Muy buenas tardes a todos y a todas. Alcalde de Granada, rectora, rector de la Universidad del Espacio en Estrasburgo. Primero agradecer el que se me permita participar en este acto inaugural del curso. Agradecer también al responsable de la Universidad del Espacio el que se haya decidido que parte de este curso, junto con Estrasburgo, se desarrolle en la Universidad de Granada y esperar del mismo lo mejor. Estoy seguro que a pesar de la pandemia que vivimos a nivel mundial, a pesar de las cautelas que tenemos que llevar en nuestra vida diaria, todavía tenemos que ser bastante prudentes. Espero que este curso, aparte de provechoso, evidentemente, de intercambio de conocimiento, pues les permita a los participantes, tanta gente joven de tantos países del mundo que nos van a acompañar durante unos meses en Granada, que puedan conocer al alcalde de la ciudad de Granada y que puedan conocer también la provincia de Granada, una provincia magnífica, muy variada, la Granada 1001, la Granada muy diversa, que merece la pena que conozcan y que la disfruten. Desde la Diputación Provincial de Granada siempre vamos a ir de la mano de la Universidad de Granada en todo lo que suponga futuro, suponga innovación, suponga ciencia, suponga conocimiento. Eso, al fin y al cabo, es apostar por el progreso y por el bienestar de una ciudadanía que tanto necesita y tanto tenemos que pelear desde las instituciones públicas porque se tenga un buen nivel de bienestar para todos y cada uno de los ciudadanos. También apostamos y hacemos lo que podemos por esa marca Granada, ligada a la ciencia y a la innovación. Tenemos muchas capacidades que estamos ejerciendo, capacidades que queremos ejercer. Y una universidad magnífica, referente en muchos ámbitos del conocimiento a nivel mundial. Y por eso, para mí, como presidente, repito, es un orgullo que este curso se desarrolle en la Universidad de Granada. Espero que sea en un mundo tan complejo, donde tanta necesidad tenemos de intercambio de información y de conocimiento, de conexión entre unos espacios y otros, entre unos países y otros, entre lo que se hace en unos países y se hace en otros a nivel mundial, que sea provechoso, que sea fructífero y que cuando termine, pues bueno, todos los participantes, tanta gente joven, seáis mejores ciudadanos, porque tengáis acumulado un mayor conocimiento para servir mejor a la sociedad en el ámbito en el que estéis trabajando. Muchas gracias y buenas tardes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Entrena Avila. Our next speaker is the president of the Spanish Space Industries, Mr. Ricardo Martí Fluxa. He cannot be with us, unfortunately. He, however, sent us a video, so let's listen on.
Hello everyone. From today, the Spanish Aerospace and Defense Association will give you all a very, very warm welcome to this new edition of the Space Studies Program of the International Space University. Today represents the main Spanish space companies that provide Europe with the fifth largest space industry and the third largest satellite operator. We have achieved this important position through the efforts of our companies, through permanent innovation, and above all, through talent, the real talent of our people, which you all represent here today. The sectors grouped in today are responsible for more than 13% of all innovation in Spain last year. This allows us to be at the technological forefront, at the real forefront demanded by the most challenging space programs, and to participate in all ESA missions. It also indeed allows us to develop technologies and applications that are then transferred to other fields and economic sectors, such as transport, agriculture, the environment, and security, among many others. I would now like to thank the organizer for giving me the opportunity to address you all today and to congratulate
of Mr. Fluxa's address. So I would like to thank Mr. Ricardo Martí Fluxa for sharing his insight with us. And he will be with us during the program. As part of the program, we have the Spanish Space Sector panel coming up, and he will be moderating that event himself in person. So we will be having the honor to have him with us in person during the program as well. Now I would like to introduce you to the mayor of Granada, the city hosting part of this 33rd Space Studies program, Mr. Luis Salvador Garcia. The floor is yours.
Buenas tardes, querida rectora magnífica, querido presidente de la Diputación, querido presidente de la Universidad de Estudios Espaciales, Juan de Dalmau, queridas autoridades también en Estrasburgo, tanto civiles como universitarias, y autoridades también que están aquí presentes, y sobre todo alumnos de estos estudios que vais a disfrutarlos, que vais a aprender, que vais a compartir y que seguramente, como ha dicho el presidente de la Diputación, en el futuro os harán mejores. Estamos en Granada y estamos conectados con el mundo, estamos conectados con Estrasburgo, estamos conectados con todas aquellas personas que están y van a participar de manera virtual en esta experiencia, y eso es el mundo actual, un mundo donde lo presencial y lo virtual se mezclan para darle valor a las cosas. Granada es una ciudad patrimonial, es una ciudad histórica, es una ciudad que tiene un patrimonio mundial de la humanidad muy importante, pero sobre todo también tiene una universidad que dentro de poco va a cumplir 500 años, una universidad maravillosa, pero una universidad también que está especializada en muchos estudios de conocimiento vinculado a materias de nuevos patrones de crecimiento económico basados en la innovación, en la tecnología, en la inteligencia artificial, en el Internet de las cosas. Y por tanto estamos en una universidad que a su vez está enmarcada en una ciudad que está definida como ciudad de la ciencia, que es como se conoce a Granada, una ciudad que tiene un parque de las ciencias que precisamente lo que hace es que cientos de miles de alumnos pasen todos los años para comprobar cómo la ciencia es atractiva, cómo la ciencia puede cambiar el mundo y hacer que muchos niños tengan vocaciones científicas en el futuro, y para eso muchos de esos niños vendrán y estudiarán en esta Universidad de Granada. Una Universidad de Granada que, sin que le pise nada a la rectora, es la que más Erasmus tiene de toda Europa y, por tanto, demostrando su carácter internacional, su carácter acogedor, su carácter precisamente de ser una ciudad de encuentro de muchísimas culturas, de muchos países y, al mismo tiempo, formando parte del enriquecimiento propio de nuestra tierra. Pero Granada, que también es ambiciosa, en este momento somos aspirantes a albergar IFNIP-DONES, el acelerador de partículas, como un proyecto también científico muy importante para nuestra comunidad y, por tanto, algo para nosotros fundamental. Y de ahí la importancia que tienen estos estudios, estos eventos que se están realizando en este momento entre Granada y Estrasburgo, con los ojos puestos también en el resto del planeta, en el resto del mundo. Hoy, para trabajar no tienes que vivir en el lugar donde está tu empresa. Puedes ser un nómada digital y hacerlo en la ciudad que a ti te guste vivir. Y Granada para eso es una ciudad ideal, una ciudad en la que animo a todas las personas que en este momento estáis aquí presentes de muy distintos países, que trabajéis en nuestra tierra, que aspiréis a quedaros en ella y desde aquí trabajar con cualquier multinacional o con cualquier empresa que pueda ser importante para vuestro desarrollo de futuro. Por tanto, ya para terminar y darle paso a los siguientes intervinientes, desearles una feliz estancia en Granada, como estoy seguro que la van a tener todas las personas que están en Estrasburgo, desear que sea provechoso todo este momento de compartir conocimiento, de aprender y además en materias tan innovadoras, y que ojalá también sea el preludio de una industria incipiente también en el formato de startup, de iniciativas que sirvan para mejorar precisamente cada uno de los ámbitos que vais a tratar durante estos 2 meses. Por tanto, bienvenidos a Granada, un placer y un orgullo compartir este curso con Estrasburgo y también que los alumnos sean internacionales y que, por tanto, disfrutéis nuestra tierra, disfrutéis nuestro país, aprendáis mucho y, sobre todo, seáis líderes del futuro, que estéis basados en buenos valores y, como ha dicho el presidente de la Diputación, sobre todo seáis buenas personas. Muchas gracias.
Very much, Mr. Luis Salvador Garcia. I'm sure these participants coming from 21 countries, after staying 9 weeks in this beautiful city of yours, will come back again after this summer, and not probably alone, but bring their families and friends as well. So they will be ambassadors of Granada for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my great honor for you to introduce to the host university of SSP21, the Rectora Magnifica of the University of Granada, Ms. Pilar Aranda. Let's give a loud round of applause for Ms. Aranda.
Gracias. Authorities, colleagues, participants, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. As rector of the University of Granada, it is a great pleasure and privilege to welcome to this SSP21. Our university will celebrate its 5th centenary in 2031, and we are proud of our considerable heritage, both material and immaterial. We have successfully survived our 500 years. We have because we have always looked to the future, adapting, preparing, and anticipating what is to come. That foresight is precisely what brings us there today. When the International Space University chose us some years ago to host this extraordinary program, which begins today, no one could have imagined the pandemic which has affected the whole world. Yet, despite the difficulties we are socially reaching this day, we have overcome the obstacles, and we are happy to welcome you with open arms. We are sure that you will have an excellent stay in this beautiful city and at our university. We have done our best to make sure that this is the case from an academic, professional, but also social point of view. We trust that, in spite of the minor difficulties that the health situation poses, these 9 weeks among us will be an unforgettable experience for you all. I would also like to thank you for being here in Granada at that time when travel is not easy. I would also like, of course, to greet those of you who are following online from Strasbourg, the convention for this very special edition Together con Granada. I am sorry that you cannot be with us in person, given the circumstance, but by making full use of the opportunities technology offers us. It is really as if you were here. It is a privilege for the University of Granada and the city to be, for the next 9 weeks, one of the knowledge hubs of the space sector. Our aim is for SSP21 to bring a lasting impact to Granada, Andalusia, and Spain, to act as a showcase for the national space industry and professionals, and to provide an opportunity for Spanish companies and researchers to learn about the space sector and establish new working relations in the sector. Hence, the extensive efforts of the local organizing committee to secure national sponsors and organize professional visits to regional companies. The space sector, as you well know, is an important sector internationally, and in Spain, it is a booming sector which, according to the industry figure, generated almost 900 million euros in 2019, and which employed over 4,000 people. It is not a sector of the future. It is a sector of the present, which we should nurture. The University of Granada wants to take a firm and decisive step in this direction through its participation in programs such as this one. Let me stop for a minute to tell you a little about the University of Granada. We have 60,000 students, campuses in Granada and on the north coast of Africa in Ceuta and Melilla, and we are proud to be the 300 top universities in the world, according to the 2020 Shanghai ranking. Yes, a few days ago, we received the result in 2021 ranking by academic subjects, and again, we are very proud of our results. Of the 54 discipline analyses, the University of Granada is ranked among the top 500 in the world, in 33. In many areas, we are in the top 100 and the 200. Thus, in the field of engineering and technology, the University of Granada has 10 disciplines among the most outstanding worldwide. Examples are for science and technology, mining and mineral engineering, computer science and engineering, where we are the first in Spain. Moreover, we are very places in social science, with 10 disciplines among the best in the world. This is the case, the library and information science of hospitality and tourist management. In medical science, we are national leaders in 4 of the existing disciplines. This review leads me to the enormous potential of the University of Granada in the space sector, because beyond the areas that we traditionally consider related to the sector, such as engineering and computer science, it also incorporates numerous specialties which previously we are not considered to be space-related. For example, law, economics, food technology, or biology. These are all fields that I study and research on our campus, and moreover, in which we occupy a leading position in the world, and which I invite you to take account to the future projects. May I also remind you other major research initiatives in which the University of Granada is directly involved and commented by the mayor, such as the future, if me honest, particular accelerator, which will play a fundamental role in a radical change of paradigm in energy production and supply. Other role which our Parque de las Ciencias Science Museum plays for the European Space Agency as the headquarters for the European Space Education Research Office in Spain. Last but not least, I would like to thank all the participating institutions and companies for their effort and interest in being with us. This event is an excellent example of collaboration between business and academia, a synergy in which the university generates knowledge and the industry converts that knowledge into innovation. I would like to sincerely thank the local organizing committee, Professor Vanessa Martos, Professor Carlos San Pedro, Professor Sergio Navas, and Mr. Carlos Entrena, and also for our accommodation service, especially for José María Peinado, Director of the Isabel La Católica Hall of Residence, and also for the Dean of the Science Faculty, Professora Mari Carmen Carrio. Let me, I end as I began thanking you all for your presence and your confidence in this University of Granada, and encouraging you to make this the beginning of a long-term collaboration. Thank you very much, and have a productive 9 weeks of work.
Thank you very much, Professor Aranda. Again, as you mentioned in your speech, indeed, when you applied and we basically start working with you, there was no pandemic. And over the 2 years, once again, thank you very much on behalf of ISU, still keeping us here and making this SSP21 in Granada as part of our program. And once again, thank you for hosting us in these wonderful locations, including the residence that it will be our summer home for the upcoming 9 weeks. With that, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we are co-hosting this event also in Strasbourg. So let's a little bit hear from them. So Gary, this is Granada. Can you hear me?
Hello? Talk to? Can you hear us? People online hear us. Okay, good. All right. Maybe we'll wait 1 minute. We'll see. Go ahead. Let me go ahead. Okay. Hey, well, first, I want to welcome everyone here, especially all our new participants. I want to welcome all our friends. I want the Central Campus staff and all the staff of the SSP this year. I mean, all our guests here. We have an honored guest, and I believe one of our honored guests was unable to make it. But I do want to mention what they do, what Carolyn says. At the end, I'll talk about what the Eurometropole has done for ISU, an amazing organization, very supportive. And I do want to very much welcome Dr. Pete Warden. He's the director of the Breakthrough Foundation and an important member of the Board of Trustees. And I do see members of our central faculty here, Central Campus faculty, so I'm very glad that you're here supporting us. I guess I want to talk about a few things. One is to help you realize that how unique this organization is. One thing that makes it unique is it probably was hard for you to find out about us and to even get here. I think it might be getting a little easier, but we're unique in the world. I actually have looked for other organizations like this, even in other disciplines like oceanography or the oceans, you know, where you get people who want to work in that area and they really want to spend their life something about oceans or something about, I don't know, entertainment. But I don't know anything like this. And I think it's because space is unique. It draws people. And it's always doing something new. I mean, you're pushing the boundaries. The things that we want to do haven't been done. So we want to keep moving that way. And that's why I really like ISU. But the founders were amazing, and you'll hear from them. They built it that way. They built it so that it would bring you here, so that you would meet each other, and that you would start working together, and that humanity would leave the planet in a sustainable way, in a good way, in an economic way, that we would go to the moon and to Mars. And we do all these things in the science fiction stories. And we'd learn about our universe, and we'd learn about all the things out there we don't know about. So this organization is amazing for that. I mean, the technical information you get at universities, what we do is try to show you the holistic look at everything in space. People who want to change their profession, they come here and they see the possibilities, and many of them do. And it gives you opportunities. The neat thing about our network, now that over 5,000 strong, as I told you earlier, is it's prone to help each other. It came here for these same reasons. And so it wants to make you successful. And in the way, you're going to help them because they're already out there with companies. They're already out there doing new science. They want to draw the best and brightest from around the globe to be part of that organization. Anyway, it always makes me very excited. Thank you. So welcome here and enjoy your 9 weeks. And like Gaktu said earlier, you really will look back on this because I stay in touch with people from even in the long before I got connected with ISU from the 90s. Different classes still get together on once or twice a year, and they have just a reunion of their class like from the mid-90s. I know that even earlier. And so you're becoming part of that large community. With that, I do want to say how this building got here and something special about our guest who was unable to make it. Madam Carolyn Zorn is the Vice President of the Eurometropole here in Strasbourg. And the Eurometropole has actually been a part of what ISU does since the second SSP, when it was here in 1989. And it was in partnership with the University of Strasbourg, which is right around here. And it ended up, there was a competition, and they competed with other cities, and Strasbourg won. And one of the reasons it won was because it said it was going to build this building. This building was built for ISU. It was built on the specifications that the founders had for it and how it was going to grow and evolve. And we've been trying to stay up. And I love what we're doing here with this particular exercise, trying to do things remotely together. It's really going to, I mean, more than just Zoom, but we're trying to really push the boundaries here. And I think you'll see as we get better over the summer, you'll forget about how hard it was in the beginning. So the Eurometropole has been part of what we are from the very beginning, and is responsible for this building and the upkeep of this building. And they provide us with a very long-term lease. So we expect to be here for a long time. And recently they put additional money into the incubator on the 3rd floor. And so hopefully you learn about that. So if you want to start a company, you don't have to go very far away. And you have a place to get started right here. And then they also, maybe some of you are recipients of this, they give many scholarships for SSP and MSS for students to be part of our community. So I hope that you enjoy your summer here. I welcome you to our community. Thank you for being here. And I mean all that also for the online people, of course, and I apologize that it might sound unique here, but all the part about what we do at ISU has been already shown for the work that we've done online. Many of those people are our TAs today and are part of our program and our community fully. So looking forward to seeing you in person at one of our alumni conferences and other programs in the future. And with that, Gaktu, I'm going to send it back to you.
All right, Gary, thank you. Thank you very much. We heard you loud and clear here in Granada. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have two special guests joining us today virtually, and they are the two of the three founders of ISU. Peter Diamandis and Bob Richards are with us today. And I suppose, Peter, Bob, with this first multi-site and hybrid space studies program, we are coming closer to your vision for ISU. What do you think?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Hi, Peter here. Bob, good to see you, pal.
Good to see you, pal. Hello from Cape Canaveral.
Yeah, I'm hello from Santa Monica. And of course, here with us in spirit is our third co-founder, Todd Hawley. And it is hard to believe it's 33 years. You know, when ISU was founded back in 1987 at the founding conference, and we had our first session in 1988 at MIT, the vision was that this would be the institution that would gather all of you from around the world, independent of national borders, independent of your disciplines, independent of really what you studied, but with the focus that you had the same vision together to make humanity a multiplanetary species. And it's been extraordinary to see the continuation of this vision and this effort for 33 years.
And Peter, before the internet, before all the social media, of course, part of the reason for ISU was to become a beacon, to attract like-minded humans, and eventually other than humans, to a common vision to expand sentience throughout the stars. And starting here from planet Earth, we're off to a good start.
Yeah, we had a name for this, guys. We called it the benign conspiracy, right? Conspiracies typically have a negative meaning or connotation, and we wanted to give it a positive. The benign conspiracy was that you would meet at these programs. Each of you would go on to head your companies, your research labs, your national space programs. But then 20, 30 years later, you would meet together and work to get the human species off the planet irreversibly.
And here we are 33 years later, and if you look around not just the rooms that you're in, but around the networks, you see people that have been connected for decades because of ISU. And people like Gary and Pete Warden and others, Juan, people who we've met and become dear friends with. The people that you guys are meeting this summer together, yourselves and others, will become your amplifiers for your dreams, for whatever you want to do on the planet and whatever you want to do together as we move out to the heavens.
Now, Bob, I think we were probably really optimistic 33 years ago. It's finally now materializing. I mean, it's nice to know that the two wealthiest humans on the planet, at least publicly wealthy in terms of, Bezos and Musk, are both, and we've known them for decades, and they truly, in their heart of hearts, desire to move humanity off the planet. It's what drives them, right? Jeff's got his vision of moon and O'Neill colonies. Elon has his mission of moon and Mars. But at the end of the day, it's really developing the technologies to get us there. And I don't think there's ever been a better time to become a space entrepreneur or a desired space explorer.
I totally agree, Peter. It's an exceptional era for us to be in, at the cusp of the human expansion into space. And as much as the technology we need to enable us to get us there, it's also very important for us to mature as a species. Who we are as we go into space is more important than where we come from or what we are when we're born. And ISU and all of our experience together will help us mature as a species as we go out to the stars.
Yeah, I mean, I think whatever we evolve into thousands of years from now, hundreds of thousands of years from now, we're going to look back at these next couple of decades as the moment in time where the human race moved off the planet irreversibly into the cosmos. And everything we've ever held of value on Earth, metals, minerals, energy, real estate, resources, all of those things are near infinite quantities in space. And it's happening now. And it's all of you, it's this generation that's going to be overseeing that. And the question is, what vision do you have for humanity in space for the centuries and millennia to come?
And, it's a common phrase in entrepreneurial realms, build it and they will come. With ISU, our plan was build it and they will go, right? They will go together. You will go together to the stars with wisdom, vision, and effort. And it's you guys that are in charge of the ISU vision for the next 2 months. So energize it, cherish it, and do it.
Yeah, and we're living in a time where exponential technologies, computation, quantum computing, sensors, networks, AI, robotics, 3D printing, synthetic biology, augmented virtual reality, blockchain are empowering you as individuals, as small teams, to do what only the largest corporations or albeit governments could do just a few decades ago. I mean, there are companies 3D printing, 90, 95% of a rocket. We're 3D printing, facilities that will be constructed onto the moon. Small teams are building, autonomous systems in orbit or to go beyond the moon and Mars. There are very little limitations, and there's more capital. I mean, the number of small startup companies going public means there will be that financial fuel to drive humanity off the planet. So what's in your heart? What's in your mind? What do you want to do? Go and do it. It is the most amazing time.
And I think our few minutes at the beginning of the session is coming to a close, but we do look forward to knowing you and working with you throughout the next 10, 100, and thousands of years. So ad astra, everybody, and have a great time at SSP21.
And Gary and Pete, good to hear you guys. Take care. Bob, a pleasure, pal.
Take care, buddy. A pleasure always.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Bob, for setting this vision. And I can assure you that the people who are actually listening you today, sitting on these chairs in Granada, in Strasbourg, or at their home, listening online, they will actually set improved, better visions for the future, taking yours as the baseline. Let's say ad astra, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank once again all our speakers for today, the members of the ISU Board of Trustees, the ISU President, Juan de Dalmau, and Rectora Magnifica, Ms. Pilar Aranda. I would like to thank also all our guests joining us today in person or virtual and attending today's opening ceremony. Well, now the opening ceremony has concluded. I advise our participants to buckle up and enjoy a fantastic ride for the next 9 weeks. As the director of the Space Studies program, I hereby declare open SSP21, the 33rd Space Studies program. Welcome. So Gary and our guest in Strasbourg, we will be saying goodbye to you at this point. We will be waving goodbye to you because we have a surprise for the Granada guests. I don't know if you have anything to share with us before we close.
I just want to thank you. This is going to be a great session. Look forward to working across all 3 different sessions, all different places during this summer. So I wish everyone a wonderful SSP. Thank you very much, Gaktu, for the great send-off. See you.
Thank you. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Strasbourg. Ladies and gentlemen, the interconnected part of the opening ceremony comes to an end. However, we are not done yet in Granada. So now I would like to introduce you to an outstanding group of musicians from the University of Granada. Mr. Pedro Ordóñez is in charge of the musical activities of the University of Granada. He and his colleagues composed this piece just for this opening ceremony. Please give them a round of applause.
This last work is for remembering the passed away astronaut Michael Collins, and this piece try to give us an impression of his mind during his travel, his journey around the moon, alone, waiting to be a hero or something, someone who must abandon his partners. And his was a very dramatic, historic moment that passed in a secondary plane, because all the people were looking to Armstrong and Aldrin. But I think that the real drama were inside the alone and space where Collins were. And this work tried to give us an impression of this. So enjoy it, please.
Mr. Pedro Ordóñez and your team, thank you very much for this spectacular and stellar, indeed, performance. You took us to a journey on Apollo, indeed, for 20 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, every SSP is hosted in a different country and locally hosted by a local organizing committee who works on the planning of the program hand in hand with the International Space University. I would like to now introduce you to Carlos Entrena Utrilla, who is a member of this year's local organizing committee and who himself is an ISU alumnus as well. Carlos, on behalf of this year's local organizing committee, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be here at the opening ceremony of SSP21, representing the local organizing committee. This year's SSP is indeed a special one. We've been working for 3 years already to prepare it, and this year's program represents the return to normal after the online program in 2020. The COVID-19 pandemic has presented the biggest challenge to our society in 100 years, and both the University of Granada and ISU have successfully adapted to all sanitary restrictions, and against all odds, here we are. It's not been easy. All aspects of the program have changed dramatically in the past months due to the uncertainty of the pandemic. The number of participants, the student lodging, the requirements of the classrooms, all have changed more than once, forcing us to start from square one in some cases. However, here we are. Today, I do not see the difficulties from past months. I see a group of excited participants and eager staff that can't wait to make this the best SSP ever. This is how all participants remember their program, and I'm sure this year will be no different. I would like to thank all the people involved within ISU and within the University of Granada for never giving up on this year's SSP. In particular, I would like to thank Vanessa Martos, Sergio Navas, and Carlos San Pedro for their tireless efforts during the organization and for always They indeed deserve more than one applause, I believe. They've always been finding solutions to all the problems. I also want to thank the person that made this program possible, and that is our rector, Pilar Aranda. She was the first person to believe in this proposal when I presented it to her in summer 2017, and since then she has given us her continued support. I'm really thankful for the support that the rector and the University of Granada have provided us. And finally, I would like to give a warm welcome to all participants to Granada. The University of Granada turns 490 years old this year, and we are proud of our heritage, our traditions, and the city that the university has shaped over the centuries. However, we're also a modern and international community, and you will all feel very welcome here. I believe there is also a deep significance in discussing the future of space travel within halls that were built when the Caravelle was the fastest ship that existed. And I'm sure that our historic city and university can be a strong inspiration for all of you as you work in our departments and in team projects. I hope that you will find that is the case as well. Thank you very much. And with that, I think I'm to introduce now the representative from GMV, Mariela Graziano. She's the Executive Director of Flight Systems and Robotics, and GMV is one of the sponsors for the program. Thank you, Mariela.
Good evening, everyone. As Carlos said, I'm Mariela. I'm a student. Almost 25 years ago, I was here, like you. So thanks for giving me this seat, because it's the best one, together with students. I feel young. GMV, I mean, when Carlos and Juan called us to see if we could contribute to the SSP, I mean, we were very happy because GMV comes from a university. So we have GMV means for you flight mechanic group. So our founder was a professor from the University of Madrid. So every time somebody calls us for supporting a student, young generation, we are always glad to see. So for us, it's a pleasure and it's an honor to be here. Thanks for inviting us. I will just give you, I mean, we will contribute for in showing you some things we will do, but this will become later. Today we will support for some fun. I will give you only an advice, and I will tell you a secret and advice. So ICU does not mean International Space University, it means insufficient sleep university. You will see, wow. And Granada is not helping, I'm afraid. I mean, this year you will be sleeping less. And then also be careful with Spanish. You know, I'm Italian, I'm not Spanish. I came here only for 1 year, and this year is the 22nd year that I'm in Spain, so be careful with Spanish, because you don't know what will happen to you. I saw many lives changed by the International Space University, so enjoy, and let's go for a dinner. We will follow, I don't know whom, but we can all go together to have a reception now.
Thank you. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Revilla. So last but not least, before we actually indeed depart to the opening reception sponsored by GMV, I would like to introduce, basically on behalf of all the other sponsors, but one of the major sponsors of this SSP, including a field trip to Madrid, from Granada to Madrid, that all the participants and staff will join at the very end of July. So I would now want to call on stage Mr. Victor Inchausti from ISPASAT Communications Division, which is a major sponsor of SSP21, including this field trip. Victor, stage is yours.
Good afternoon. It's an honor for me to represent Hispasat, the Spanish satellite telecommunication operator, in the opening ceremony of what will surely be a successful space studies program with an exciting content that blends agriculture and space or lunar settlements, among other topics. As the participants will discover during the program, Hispasat is currently working on both aspects, collaborating with different agricultural innovation companies to better understand their needs and to develop successful cases for monitoring livestock through sensors and crop control, but also with the European Commission to study the design of a space infrastructure that will provide lunar communication and navigation services by satellite similar to those used on Earth. But our commitment to the space sector cannot be reduced merely to the industry. We also believe in the need to promote research, debate, and analysis in the academic field. That's why we are greatly interested in the work being carried out in this space studies program, and we hope to contribute with our experience to ensure complete success for all the participants. Finally, as a journalist and head of communications of Hispasat, I would like to encourage all the participants of this program to go spread the word. We, academics, companies, students, are part of an amazing sector with a huge potential to transform and boost today our society. And we need to tell the people in a didactic way through our social media profiles, etc., that this is not science fiction, that it's reality, and that this is currently happening. So thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Victor. We are looking forward to also visiting ISPASAT during this summer. I would also like to acknowledge some other supporters and sponsors of the program who are with us today. The Institute of Astrophysics of Andalusia, the SSPF Foundation in the Netherlands, Airbus CRISE, which we will also visit in Madrid, and which I call the Team Future, the Portuguese Space Agency representative who will be hosting SSP22. They are also with us. Once again, a big round of applause to your supports. With that, ladies and gentlemen, this basically concludes the formalities of the opening of SSP21 in Granada also. So what is next is, before we depart this beautiful venue for our opening ceremony sponsored by GMV, we will go with our participants and staff to the patio on this side, and we will create memories of this day. We will make group photos with our participants and staff and with the entire team. And then we will proceed to our gala dinner for tonight. Once again, I would like to thank every one of you for joining us today. And for the participants, your ride is now on. Enjoy your summer. Thank you.